Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is News at 12. News at 12.
In the local scene, the provincial government of Albay has launched the distribution of 10 kilos of rice assistance under the national government's Bigay Bigas sa Masa program at the Ibalong Centrum for Recreation. The assistance is funded through the local government support fund with 137 million pesos allotted for poverty reduction and basic service delivery programs. Around 11,125 residents in Legazpi City benefited from the initial distribution facilitated by the City Social Welfare and Development Office. Legazpi City is among the first 5 local government units in Albay to receive assistance under the program. The initiative aims to provide immediate food support to indigent families and vulnerable communities across the province. In other story, the Albay Arts Foundation has opened the Likas exhibit at Mama Rose Hotel in Cabangan, Legazpi City as the culminating activity of its arts residency program. The exhibit features work from 10 artists showcasing climate action concepts inspired by the connection between art and nature. The 15-day Likas Artist Residency ran from May 4 to 19 and concluded with the public exhibit open until June 30. The organizers said the showcase aims to promote environmental awareness through creativity and nature-inspired art. In other news, more than 400 displaced residents affected by Mayon volcano's unrest received free healthcare services and medical supplies during a Department of Health outreach mission in Kamalig. The Department of Health launched the Puro Kalusugan Alagang Pangkalusugan sa Evacuation Center program in partnership with the provincial government of Albay and the local government unit of Kamalig. The medical mission assisted 123 families or 435 individuals from Barangay Anuling and 65 more residents from Barangay Tagaytay. Free diagnostic services included X-rays, ultrasound, urinalysis, complete blood counts, and electrocardiograms through the Albay Provincial Health Office Mobile Primary Care Facility van. Health workers also conducted orientations on sanitation, nutrition, tuberculosis, HIV awareness, immunization, safe motherhood, and non-communicable disease. The Department of Health also turned over medical supplies to the Kamalig Rural Health Unit to strengthen health monitoring in evacuation centers. The donated supplies included first aid kits, portable nebulizers, N95 face masks, hygiene kits, buntis kits, and baby carriers. In the national scene, Senate Minority Leader Vicente Soto III on Sunday denied Senator Amy Marquez's claims that there were talks about forming a constitutional assembly to block Vice President Sara Duterte from running for president in 2028. The statement came days after Senator Panfilo Lacson described Marquez's allegations as outright lies and rejected claims of secret discussions about amending the 1987 Constitution. Marcos earlier claimed that meetings were held in a hotel to discuss a constitutional assembly where Congress could push for changes to the Constitution, including a possible extension of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s term until 2031. Soto confirmed meeting with House Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, also known as Speaker Boji, but clarified that the conversation was only casual and no formal proposal was discussed. He added that if constitutional amendments were ever considered, he would rather support lowering the age of requirement for presidents and senators, stressing that Marcos's source may have misunderstood the discussion. In other story, Philippine National Police Chief Jose Melencio Hurtado Jr. urged Senator Ronald De La Rosa to cooperate with authorities as police continue efforts to locate him over the ICC arrest warrant tied to the Duterte administration's war on drugs. The Department of Justice said the ICC warrant against De La Rosa could be enforced and ordered the PNP and the National Bureau of Investigation to arrest him for his alleged role in killings linked to the anti-drug campaign from 2016 to 2018. The Hurtados appealed to De La Rosa's sense of duty as a former police chief, saying he should respect the legal process and cooperate with officers carrying out their responsibilities. Police earlier classified the senator as armed and dangerous under standard protocols because of his law enforcement background and possible access to firearms, although the PNP said all operations would follow proper procedures and respect human rights. The PNP also placed airport and maritime units on alert to prevent any possible attempt to leave the country, while NBI Director Melvin Matibag confirmed through immigration records that De La Rosa remains in the Philippines. In other news, victims of Duterte's war on drugs lawyer Cristina Conti said Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano insulted families affected by the drug war after he defended former President Rodrigo Duterte and Senator Ronald De La Rosa, who are facing cases before the International Criminal Court. Cayetano described Duterte's anti-drug campaign as a pro-life campaign because, according to him, illegal drugs destroy lives, despite reports that thousands were killed during the operations. Conte criticized Cayetano for what she called insensitive remarks and false claims about the ICC case, saying his continued support for the Duterte family ignores the suffering of victims, detainees, and their relatives. Government data shows at least 6,000 people tagged as drug suspects died in the campaign, while human rights groups, the United Nations, and the ICC investigators estimate the number could reach 30,000, including innocent civilians and children. The ICC continues to investigate Duterte over alleged crimes against humanity linked to the drug war, while De La Rosa faces an arrest warrant as an alleged co-perpetrator amid questions over his temporary disappearance from Senate custody earlier this month. And in the news outside the country, Iran accused the United States of making excessive demands in ongoing talks, even as reports suggested Washington is considering possible military strikes if diplomacy fails. U.S. and Iranian officials continued negotiations but said major differences remain and no final agreement has been reached. Pakistan's army chief visited Tehran for high-level talks, while other regional actors also pushed diplomatic efforts to prevent escalation. U.S. media reports of possible strike planning alongside official warnings from Washington added to tensions around the talks. Disputes over the Strait of Hormuz, a key oil route, continue to raise fears of global supply disruption and market instability. Despite ongoing regional violence, some markets reacted cautiously to signs of diplomacy, though concerns over wider escalation remain. In other story, North Korea has criticized Japan's plan to revise its main defense and security policies, calling the move reckless and militaristic. In a report carried by the ruling party newspaper Rodong Sinmon, Pyongyang accused Tokyo of trying to turn itself into a war state and revive the legacy of the former empire of Japan. The criticism comes as Japan works on updating its key national security documents in response to growing regional threats, including China's expanding military activity. North Korea also warned that any future attempt by Japan to launch an invasion would lead to consequences far worse than those it faced in the past. And finally, in the news outside the country, with reference to the Philippines, the International Criminal Court has allowed former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte to skip an upcoming procedural hearing set for May 27, while he remains in detention in The Hague, Netherlands. Trial Chamber 3 said Duterte must stay in ICC custody at the Shevanigan detention facility after his confirmation of murder charges earlier this year was seen as increasing the risk of flight. The court stressed that regular detention reviews show no change in circumstances that would justify his release, with the charges confirmation supporting continued detention. Judges also cited Duterte's past statements, resources, and support network, saying these factors could enable him to avoid court proceedings if released. Victims' lawyers welcomed the decision, while the tribunal ordered the pre-trial disclosures and confirmed that the hearing will be publicly streamlined with a short delay to protect sensitive information. That's on News at 12, May 25, 2026. We'll be back tomorrow for more news updates. Thanks to all our news writers, Naomi Ruth Hernandez and LJ Lurejo. And on the technical side, Chad Bobis. And our Provincial Information Office OIC Marty Gonzalez. And under the supervision of our Governor, Noel E. Rizal, I am Greg Hallare. Thank you for subscribing. Albay in my heart.